8 races remain in the AT&T Champ Car World Series season here in 2024, and we arrive back in the Netherlands. Clear skies, no rain in the forecast. It's just what the doctor ordered here after a very tumultuous couple of years here in Valkenburg. Pandemics and rain cancellations aside, we're looking for a straightforward 79-lap race here at the Valkenburg Naval Air Base circuit here just 30 minutes away from the capital city of Amsterdam. The championship rounds are upon us. Qualifying yesterday, very interesting. Today, we kick off a doubleheader of racing here on ABN with the World Series up first. For everyone tuning in on the United States side this morning, welcome to the Netherlands. For everyone joining around the world, welcome to Holland. Siri Lundqvist's pole position was the story yesterday. The Arrowhead Racing driver crawling out of the relegation zone in Monza a week ago with a fantastic run to the finish, 8th place for the 97 last week. Pole position will make that conversation a little bit easier if it can be turned into a successful result as well. However, it is tight in the relegation cutoff line. Some of those drivers hoping to have a breakthrough, similar to how they had a breakthrough a week ago. Monza was a crazy race. Valkenburg has traditionally also been a crazy race. So we'll see what we have coming into today. But Lundqvist does have the best foot forward to start this race, starting alongside the defending world champion Nicole Lechty to kick this race off. Natalia Velicevic and Steffi Porter-Kelly will round out the second row of the field just behind. Velicevic was fastest in practice on Friday, but will start third. Sakura Ishibashi, Alicia Kovalkiewicz, they start row 3. And then it's Artyom Kozlov for Verizon Team Impulse and the current championship leader, Evangeline Porter, in 8th on the outside of row 4. Simona Leroux and Elise Alexander make up row number 5. That's the top 10 as they start. It was a very close elimination for Juliette Takani, starting 11th. Missed out on Q3 by 5 milliseconds here yesterday. Takani instead will start alongside Wyatt Jones, who is second in points still, but it's a very thin margin for Wyatt Jones in that second spot. He'll start 12th. Andrew Draco, Mia Valdez, they're looking for a little bit more out of the race this weekend than what they got in Valkenburg a week ago. They start in row 7. Matthias Michelin, last week's race winner, starts in row 8 alongside BK Glover. Catherine Hart and Thomas Rogers, they start in row number 9. Dennis Kage-Kobayashi and Marcus Petrovic in row number 10. They did not make it out of Q1 yesterday. Esther Hofson was the last one to set a qualifying lap time in the 21st position. 5 drivers serving qualifying bans in yesterday's qualifying session, all because of engine penalties. Due to the exorbitant amount of engine failures and penalties for those, what was 10-place grid drops turned into qualifying bans. So Cameron Jackson, Hazel Leon, Asher Crane, Shufan Jang, and Anastasius von Sonnen start at the back of the field, having not been permitted to qualify here in Valkenburg. Shufan Jang also has a qualifying ban for a second engine failure that happened last week at Monza. What she served yesterday was for the engine failure in Michigan. So she'll start 25th today and will start no better than right now 26th in Monaco. And that's the staggering part of all of this, is that we have Monaco right around the corner. 7 days away, we enter the streets of Monte Carlo. But right now, we have the lovely Valkenburg circuit to welcome us to the final third of the IndyCar World Championship campaign. It's glad as we are to be back. We have business to take care of. So let's send it trackside for those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
79 laps, 191.7 miles of racing around this racetrack. 2.421 miles is the lap length here around the Valkenburg circuit. Obviously, we tried to race here last year, but rain washed out the entire weekend. We were last year in 2022, where Kimi Kinoshita was crowned champion in a very shortened season. But we're here again at a track that has been very well storied since it joined the Champ Car calendar, and we get to add a different layer to that, another chapter to the story of the Grand Prix of Valkenburg. For everyone tuning in around the world, welcome to the show. It is Lundqvist and Lehti that will lead the field to green. Toyota and Chevrolet, Arrowhead Racing and Highlight Racing leading the field forward. Striker Motorsports, that Chevrolet team, has the last 2 wins this season so far. Porter Kelly won at Michigan. Michelin won at Monza. Pace car is in. Ford after pace truck in pit lane. As we approach the start-finish line, green flag flies, and away we go. Everyone taking it easy. Red compound tires. 17 to 20 laps is a estimated green flag stint. A little bit of trouble there for Ishibashi, trying to find a way around Porter Kelly for that 4th spot. It didn't work out for Ishibashi, but it did work out for the 7 of Natalia Velicevic. She moves up to 2nd place in a hurry. Meanwhile, the defending points leader, Vansley Porter, right now trying to make some inroads here. Got into Q3 yesterday. Still sitting top 10 at the moment, but dealing with the 96 of Alicia Kolakevich. Kolakevich shadowing the 3 of Partium Kozlov. This is on the bottom half of the top 10 as we run through the opening lap. Everyone's made it through cleanly. That is the important factor in all this. They're cleanly through the opening lap. As you can tell, some dark clouds off in the distance. That's off the coast here, so it's not a factor at the racetrack right now, and it's not expected to be. The southern end of this racetrack is sunshine. You can see the sun bouncing off some of the buildings around this former naval air base. It's now a private airport. Kelly up right now in the 4th position. Vansley Porter, her younger sister, in points leader at the moment in 8th. Lisa Alexander in the 9th position, having gotten around Simona Leroux. Leroux in the 10th spot at the moment. And then you have Mia Valdez, Joya Takani, Andrew Draco, and Wyatt Jones, your top 14. BK Glover in 15th at the moment. Michelin in 16th. Then it's Kathleen Hart, Kaiki Kobayashi, Hazel Leon is trying to crawl her way forward in this field. Kobayashi trying to find a way around, and will find a way around Kathleen Hart. That is for 17. Thomas Rogers also trying to move forward with Leon. That is 19th place for Rogers. Petrich up 2 spots. He's up to 20th. That is Hobson in 21st. 22nd is this battle you see right now. But Astrid Crane on a hard charge at the moment. Dropped down to 26th and last at the moment. Runs really wide in this battle to Cameron Jackson. We're approaching turns 13 and 14. Ooh, really tight there. And Jackson will take over that position coming across our finish line here. And Crane, just like that, from 26th, ends up only gaining a spot, maybe 2. And we'll actually hold on to 24th over Von Sonnen. Shupin Jang now 26th and last running at the moment. Lundqvist, though, front of the field, sitting safe and secure at the moment as things currently stand. Some amazing sights are here around the Valkenburg Naval Air Base. Slowest parts of the racetrack right there, that hairpin. Valicevic trying to close in on a potential second race win, having been victorious in Denver Motorsports Park just a few weeks ago. Monza did not go the way many people anticipated, including Nicole Lechty, whose championship ambitions, championship defense hopes took a huge hit. Right now sitting in third. Here goes Valicevic closing in on Lundqvist. Tried to send it there through turn one. Lundqvist kept the door shut. Lundqvist knows how important this result would be for that 97 crew. At this particular point in time, it'd be game-changing for the 97 camp. 97 car had started out as the 88 for Obsidian Racing Team with Bianca Lucero. Arrowhead Racing bought out the rights to that entry. Obsidian took the money and went to the Challenger Series with both cars. It's worked out pretty well for the 88 camp. The 88 camp, which had spent most of the season in the back half of the World Series grid. Since its debuted with Lucero at Gateway, it's been to the front of the field. It qualified well for Vegas, which is happening later today, and led the most laps at Gateway 3 weeks ago. Lundqvist has done a fantastic job on her own. Obviously, as a veteran of the World Series is what Lundqvist has been. A couple of race wins for Lundqvist have kind of helped buoy her results across her 2 different stints in the World Series. Lundqvist started out racing in Champ Car back really in the 2014 season. Jumped in, ran for a couple of years before moving to F1. Never really found her footing. Came back in 2020 to replace the injured Alicia Kovalkiewicz. This year is the first year that Kovalkiewicz and Lundqvist have actually been teammates on the same squad. Usually it's been Lundqvist replacing Kovalkiewicz for injury. It's what happened last year when Lundqvist filled in when Kovalkiewicz re-aggravated injuries from that Lausitzring crash. Lundqvist filled in for a few races, did a serviceable job, helped Kovalkiewicz get back up to speed, and Kovalkiewicz ended up with a couple race wins last year, including Kovalkiewicz's first win on an oval. A little bit further up the field, that is BK Glover, who's had to make a stop down pit lane. He's had to make a really early pit stop. That is not where he wants to be, but at the same time, he's going to have the cleanest real estate of the bunch to try to close in here. Meanwhile, here we go. Potential move for second. This is Valicevic now defending from the 80s, from the 78 of Nicole Lechty. Lechty in third, Porter Kelly in fourth. Sakura Ishibashi still holding up the top 5 as things sit right now. But Ishibashi's getting a mere full ever more of that black and green Tequila Patron 96 of Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Kovalkiewicz in 6th, Porter's up to 7th, having made a move around Artyom Kozlov for that 7th spot. Alexander stays 9th, Simona LaRose stays top 10 at the moment ahead of Juliet Takani. Mia Valdez sits in 11th, Andrew Draco, Valdez in 12th, Draco in 13th. Mateus Michelin, last week's winner, in 14th right now, and it's a decent margin, a gap there between 14th and 15th. Wyatt Jones has not been comfortable in his first visit in full to Valkenburg. He was a rookie last year, didn't get to do a lot of practice at all, did 4 laps before practice was washed out and eventually the rest of the weekend. So this is his first time genuinely going through a full weekend of racing here at the Valkenburg circuit, and it is catching him off guard a little bit. Wyatt Jones speaking with them about how difficult this racetrack is to approach compared to that of a Monza. This track isn't available in many sims. It's not available in the likes of iRacing or Assetto Corsa or anything like that. So he's not had the ability to learn this track virtually before jumping into the race car to do this. And because of how difficult it was last year to try to get any information out of the car at all, there was nothing for him to go on here. Obviously, he almost made it. He almost got knocked out in Q1. Ended up qualifying this race in 12th, but struggled to get going early on in this race. Obviously, dropping 3 spots quickly, and now under pressure from Catherine Hart in that 16th spot, the 31 car, just a little further back. Eric Kobayashi in 17th at the moment, having gotten around Hazel Leon in 18th there. Fantastic crowd on hand here in Valkenburg once again to enjoy one of the best weather-related weekends we've had for this race, quite possibly in its entire history. Esther Hofson right now in 20th, ahead of her teammate Cameron Jackson. She's right now the leading Dragon Motorsports car, which is in dire straits right now, with at least 2 of those cars fighting to get out of the relegation fight at the moment. There's Astrid Crane, still stuck behind the 76 of Anastasius von Sonnen. A lot of teams were able to roll out upgrades for this weekend. Only one upgrade window left after this weekend, and it is in Chicagoland. Airhead Racing rolled out upgrades there to try to bolster their chances to keep 3 cars in this fight in the 2025. Atomic Autosport released a minor upgrade for both of its cars, the 7 and the 81. Just to kind of keep those cars at the sharper end of the competition. Striker Motorsports released an upgrade as well for all 3 of its cars, for Michelin, for Alexander, and for Porter Kelly. Highlight Racing did a minor upgrade as well. A lot of teams did their heavier upgrades at the start of the season to try to get ahead early, and it's worked out pretty well. Phantom Motors released a moderate-sized upgrade for its cars to try to get rolling. Obviously, Andrew Draco finished 5th at Monza, but it was a very attrition-based event. They're trying to find some of that pace to try to get to the top 5 more consistently. It seems like they missed the mark just a little bit here. Draco in 12th, not really able to do anything. Catherine Hart making some positions though. She's gotten around Wyatt Jones, and we're gonna take a look back and look at it here. And that has since changed back in favor of the 25 of Jones. So Jones trying to defend that position. Meanwhile, Draco's trying to defend from Michelin. Valdez trying to get around Julia Takani. Meanwhile, Julia Takani is just trying to find any way to catch up to the 77 of Simone Leroux, but that seems to be pretty difficult to do at this particular point in time. Leroux is pretty far up the road right now, trying to take a pass around the 3 of Artyom Kozlov as things sit. And here we go, pass for position. This is going to be in favor of Alicia Golukiewicz to the top 5. That's 2 Airhead Racing cars in the top 5. Ishibashi overdrove turn 14. Golukiewicz, ever the opportunist, said thank you, I'll take that, and I'll now try to close the gap to Porter Kelly. That's exactly where we're at right now. So Golukiewicz makes some inroads there. try to close in now for that 4th spot. Porter Kelly in that position right now. So Porter Kelly grabbing her 47th career win in Michigan 3 weeks ago. Did an outstanding job to get that point. Her 47th win. Winning is still all-time in World Championship history. In American Open history, she's 3rd on the all-time list. It's a very elite company for Porter Kelly. You have to get to 61 wins to get the all-time lead for most wins in American Open wheel racing. That is including the national championship. And going all the way back to 1909, the first Indianapolis 500. It's a long storied history. The fact that we've only had drivers with at most 61 race wins is staggering. But when you think about, there used to be about 12 races a year for decades. It was hard to stat pad. There's now racing 24 races a year. So been double the races. This is Porter Kelly's wins coming from the time period where we ran 20 race seasons. Right now, doing an outstanding job, sitting in the 4th position, just trying to keep the pressure applied to the defending world champion, Nicole Lechty. Lechty likewise trying to stay attached to the gearbox of Natalia Velicevic. Top 9, pretty well lockstep at this point. Really top 10 all the way down to Leroux in 10th place. Takani staying 11th. You see Maya Valdez in 12th, having gotten around Andrew Draco here. Then you have Matthias Michelin in 14th still. Wyatt Jones in 15th still. Positions harder to come by on this street circuit, but you can still make some passing done. We've seen it happen. Monaco will be the real big test. Obviously, Monaco not known for its passing opportunities. It's known for a lot of strategy battles. Well, known for a lot of blockades throughout the years. Yes, the Dragon Motorsports teammates will swap positions potentially. And indeed, that will be the case. Maybe. Thompson really drove through turn 3 and 4 really well. Stay ahead of Cameron Jackson at the moment. Point is valuable to everyone down at this end of the field because they are so valuable and so few and far between. Jackson in 20, Petrovich in 20, I believe 22nd now, I do believe. Yes, that is the case. So Petrovich in 22nd, Von Sonnen in 23rd, 24th still for Ashford Crane, who rolled out the upgrades for the first time this season. They have not worked out quite as they were hoping. They didn't need to be magical, they just needed to try to chip away and really apply pressure to the 42 and the 20 that are just beyond the relegation zone at the moment. And so far that has not quite worked the way they were hoping it would. 24th so far for Crane, 25th for Shubin Jang because BK Glover has 26th right now all to himself after having to make an early pit stop in this race. Meanwhile, front of the field, Natalia Velicevic has done what she did at Monza a week ago, and that is take the lead early. After 11 laps, Siri Lundqvist no longer in control of the race lead. It is now in the hands of the 7 of Velicevic. Who now has an enviable task of trying to hold on to it. And we saw how difficult it was to do so at Monza. Trying to keep her honest here. Velicevic up to the front of the field. Now on lap 13 of 79. Here goes a good shot for Lundqvist here. was going to keep the cover. But really, everyone's overdriving turn 14 a lot right now. And it seems like everyone's trying to figure that out. It seems like they've done a lot of sealant work there on that part of the racetrack, and it's really throwing drivers for a loop because it feels like the grip is harder to find. Porter Kelly's trying to find a way around Lecty, but Lecty giving very little course for action at this point. Everyone thinking, what can we do to get around and gain points on the 81 in the standings? Lindsay Porter right now sitting at 7th, doing what she's done basically all season, and that is try to finish top 10. Monza only the second time last week that Porter has not finished in the top 10. She went 14. She's 14 for 16 right now in terms of top 10 results. No one else even comes close to that consistency magic that Evangeline Porter's had so far. Of course, everyone talks about how Porter's not won a race this season. A lot of drivers have won races this season. 15 have won races this season. Thomas Rogers, the only one to win 2, won the first 2 races back to back. It's been a different driver every race since. It has been a statistically very odd season. Lisfish stays in the race lead. Porter Kelly drops a little bit of time to Lecty. Now under the grasp of Alicia Kovalkiewicz at this point. There's Porter, points leader in 7th. Alexander's moved up to 8th, and so has Leroux up to 9th around Artyom Kozlov. So Kozlov's down 2 spots, but stays in the top 10 and ahead of Julia Takani. Just browsing and perusing a little bit further backwards, a little bit more of a gap before you get to the next group here. That's Rogers and Kobayashi, who are on an island all their own. Esther Hobson in 20th, Marcus Petrovich 21st, Asher Crane up to 22nd, 23rd for Von Sonnen, 24th for Shufin Zhang. Cameron Jackson, he is on his own right now, 25th right now, which is not where he wants to be. And BK Glover in 26th is the last car running. All of them on the lead lap though at the moment. Cameron Jackson had to make a pit stop and did so and stayed ahead of BK Glover in the process. Lindquist applying pressure once more to the 17 of Lisbeth. Pit stops are not far away. The pit window opens in about a lap, although a couple have made that stop early. And caution is out, and there's smoke there on the final corner, and it's Andrew Draco. Andrew Draco in trouble, so caution will come out and intervene at this point in time. What has happened to Andrew Draco here as the caution flies for the first time today, right before pit lane becomes busy with the first round of pit stops. Now they'll become busy with the first round of pit stops under caution. So green flag pit stops not a factor. Draco was 13th on the road and is now the first retirement in this race. It was a modest upgrade package for Phantom Motors, but it was working pretty well for Catherine Hart, just a couple cars behind there in 16th. Trying to figure things out here before we get to Monaco next weekend, and Andrew Draco now in a really bad spot. He's trying to chase down Mia Valdez. Mateus Michelin not far behind him there in that green, yellow, and white Petrobras car. Oh, he just really overdrives it there. Ooh, and right in front of Michelin too. Michelin nowhere for him to go. Just really overdrives it and just tags the wall. That's extremely unfortunate there. Everyone was struggling there just overdriving it just a little bit. And just pulling all of this up here. He just completely misses turn 13. Just tags the wall, and Michelin can't really slow up in time. Around he goes. And Michelin likewise in a lot of trouble. Some cars making their way around behind the Ford Raptor pace car. It'll reset the field under single file conditions to get this race started. Pit stops underway though. We expect that they will be underway though at the end of this lap. First full lap under caution. And we are down to 25 cars at the moment. DK Glover expected to come back down pit lane after his early pit stop. Cameron Jackson, who just made a pit stop, may gamble and stay out here. He'd be the only one. Lundqvist led the first 11 laps of this race. Felicevich has led the 5 since, taking over the race lead from Lundqvist. And now, pit crews will have to try to maintain that status quo or force a change the hard way. And we've seen a lot of craziness from pit crews this season. Some pit crews have really earned their money's worth, others have struggled. So pit lane, 35 miles an hour. Really easy to speed. Thankfully these cars have pit limiters that make it a little bit easier. Back around the pit lane there. Let's see who's able to get out of pit lane the fastest at this point. I think just about everyone came down pit lane this go around. Let's switch leave pit lane now. A little bit of adjustment work being done there for the 97. It's not looking good for Lundqvist at the moment, nor is it looking good there for Lechty. Oh, they're losing a lot of spots here now. Big concerns for the 97 and the 78. Oh no. What is going on with the 97 and the 78 here? Troubles abound for those two that moved to the back of the field. Everyone else getting going. Felicevich got going just fine. Lechty gets going now. And Lundqvist gets going now. But those two had extremely slow pit stops. Felicevich now firmly in control. Porter Kelly in second. And then it's Alicia Kovalevich, Evangeline Porter up to 4th, Elise Alexander up to 5th, Simona LaRose 6th, Takani 7th, Hazel Leon in 8th, 9th for Wyatt Jones, 10th Esther Hofson, who had a fantastic pit stop. So pit stops have jumbled the field backwards a lot here, and Thomas Rogers, with something wrong in that 2 car, will join the retirement queue in a massive hurry. So his Valkenburg Grand Prix comes to a very premature end as well. Rogers just trying to limp back around here. Lights out on the pace truck, which means we're going green at the end of this lap. Everyone better be getting ready. That is a huge gap here. All the way to Wyatt Jones and company. Oh, this is going to be an absolute mess. Green flag flies and away we go. Looks like most of the field did catch up there. Everyone trying to make some moves now on this restart. Wyatt Jones will make a move. Got around Leon. Leon struggling to get up to speed here. That is for now the 10th spot. Also trying to hold position as much as possible, not used to being this high up the order. And under pressure from Hart, from Crane, from Kobayashi as well. Everyone trying to make some moves here. Wyatt Jones trying to make a move around the 95 at Takani. Gets around Takani. Much needed move there for Wyatt Jones, trying to keep the championship battle going at this point. Porter up in 4th. All the main championship contenders behind her at this point, as they have been most of the season. But it's Cole Volkevich up ahead, followed by following Porter Kelly, and Natalia Veliswitz leads the way. We wondered, Thomas Rogers back in pit lane here. A little bit of a gap all the way back here. That is Lechty and then Lundqvist, who did not get completely caught up to the field. Michelin still rolling, although very wounded at this point. Battling with Sakura Ishibashi at this point. Vadim Kozlov also had a really slow pit stop. That did not help at all. So the field's pretty jumbled up here, side by side. Battling for the 14th spot is Petrovic and Shufan Zhang. Right now, restarted this race in 10th, dropped down to 12th. But overall, not a bad place to be, all things considered, for Esther Hofson. A much-needed result could come here if she can hold on to spots. She's got Marcus Petrovic just behind, and then Shufan Zhang. Shufan Zhang in 15th, Nia Valdez in the 16th spot, then it's Von Sonnen 17th. Cameron Jackson will go up to 18th here, having gotten around BK Glover. Michelin's been thoroughly passed and dispatched by Ishibashi. Lefty now in 23rd, 24th for Siri Lundqvist, and it is an electrical failure for Thomas Rogers that has seen his retirement. Some sort of electrical component caught fire in that 2-car. Veliswitz continues to lead the way. Porter Kelly in 2nd, Kovalkiewicz 3rd, falling a little bit more distant. Wyatt Jones up to 7th. And good job so far. Takani up to 8th. Leon in 9th. 10th is Crane. And Captain Hart in 11th at the moment. Very upside down grid from what we saw at the start of this race. Shufan Zhang in 15th, trying to stay ahead of Mia Valdez. Trying to work that way around. BK Glover in the 6th spot at the moment. Jackson in 19th. Ishibashi in 20th. Vadim Kozlov's dropped down to 21st, so there's a struggle there for the 3-car. Not sure what's going on there for Kozlov to drop all the way down to 21st, but it seems like there is something significantly off about that 3-car right now. Michelin in 22nd, Lechty 23rd, and Lundqvist 24th is how they remain. All 24 cars still running are on the lead lap. Veliswitz has led 10 laps here so far. Again, Lundqvist led the first 11 laps of this race. Lundqvist also having trouble there with turn 14. Looks to the inside. Porter-Kelly trying to find a way around, and will find a way around, forces a way through. Porter-Kelly takes the lead. It seemed like that was a move that was pretty well thwarted. Porter-Kelly drove her way to the outside, though, and got around, so Porter-Kelly now in the lead here over Velicevic, and then Kovalkiewicz in third, closing in as those two battled it out a little bit. So Porter-Kelly now up in front. Wyatt Jones up to sixth, having gotten around Elise Alexander. Alexander now in seventh, Wyatt Jones in sixth as Porter stays in the fourth spot. Obviously, Wyatt Jones trying to mitigate damage here. Gained a few points in Monza last week. Obviously, focuses are at the oval heavy end of the season, which would lie a little bit more in Wyatt Jones' favor. You look at Chicagoland, you look at Atlanta, you look at Fontana. Those are three of the final six races of the season. Of course, we still have the short oval of Arasaka Arena in Night City. We have the two road courses left of the season, Watkins Glen and Indianapolis, the road course there at the Brickyard, mixed in as well. And that swings things a little back further into Porter's favor at the moment. It's about exercising the most opportunities available to you at this point. Yeah, Jones gained a few points on Porter last week in Monza, but very marginal points gained there, with both of them finishing well outside the top 10. Both of them well in the top 10 right now. Porter losing touch with the top three pretty handily at the moment. It seems those three are pretty well just kind of on their own little battle at the moment. Porter-Kelly in the race lead. Hit her marks here, looking for her 48th career win and second of the season. Everyone doing some battling here. I believe something's happened. There's Michelin, who's been dispatched by Lundqvist and by Lechty here, so he is now firmly in 24th, the last car running. There's Lundqvist, who's gotten clear. There's Lechty and Ishibashi, who now has to try to catch up to this group. This is where it's a little more intense, because these are drivers that are fighting for every singular point that you can possibly get here. So Striker Motorsports bookends the running field at the moment, both first and 24th. Alexander in 7th for Striker Motorsports, sitting in the middle, a little more front side. Importantly, Porter-Kelly's pulling away from Velicevic, a second, the 10th faster that last lap here, 124.3 versus 124.4 in favor of Bosnian American. Porter-Kelly, born in Sarajevo, but lives in Orlando, has dual citizenship. .6 versus 124.1, so Velicevic turned up the heat just a little bit to apply more pressure. Velicevic sitting right now in the second position. Kovalkiewicz in third with a 124.3 the last time around. Expecting pit stops here and not too long of an order. About lap 27 to lap 30. Yeah, about lap 27 to lap 30. That's what we're expecting here. Actually, no. Scratch that. A little bit closer. Lap 32 to 35. Since it was 17 to 20 laps on the pit window. We pit on lap 15. So it'd be closer to lap 32 to 35. So we still have a few laps. But did the math a little bit wrong there. Gavich in third, looking pretty well secure right now, but again, all that can change. We saw what happened with Andrew Draco earlier in this race, and the longevity-based damage that we see now with Matthias Michelin's damaged car. Going through second gear here, all the way through turn number 5. Down to second here. Very mid to low speed corners at this point. And then it opens up dramatically after the hairpin that's coming up. Get it in, try to keep it tight to the left hand side. Get a good apex and ride through it. Only part of the racetrack where you're in first gear on this racetrack is that hairpin. Right out for a decent little bit here. Full throttle speed. All the way down towards turns 11 and 12. Here comes Felicevich looking for the race lead once more. Portichelli shuts the door and keeps the inside defended to prevent a mirror of what Portichelli did to take over the race lead a few laps ago. So Portichelli out front still, but Felicevich closing the gap more and more as this race continues on. Which stays in the second spot at the moment. Further around the field, that's Michelin in 24th still, and firmly out of the way by about 10 seconds from Nicole Lechty, who's been dispatched by Siri Lundqvist. Lundqvist trying to charge back forward after a very slow opening pit stop under caution. Dropped down to 20, what was 25th, ended up 24th and last. Now up to 22nd, and trying to find a way around the 3 of Artyom Kozlov. Very slow moving progress there for Lundqvist, who had just gotten that car out of the bottom 4 in the points. Bottom 4 under risk of being relegated at the end of the season to the top 4 in the Challenger Series. Right now, Net 97 is still theoretically in the safe zone because of Rachel Koivaniemi's success so far for Arrowhead Racing in the Challenger Series. Arrowhead Racing has 3 cars in the World Series. They cannot add a 4th car. So the 61 and the 97 would stay put. It's everyone around the 97 that's really kind of sweating it out at the moment. 28 into this race, last in points. So they're under the most duress. The 21, the 80, the 76, they're also in below that cut line. The 20 keeps creeping closer and closer to it. 2 engine failures in a row at Michigan and in Monza have put Xu Jing a lot closer to that cut line than we had imagined that the 20 car would be looking at the start of the season when Xu Jing got a podium in Melbourne. But that has been the reality here. Several good cars back here as well. So Lechty, Lundqvist, Kozlov, and Ishibashi have all been stuck here in this traffic jam. Obviously, Lundqvist pole position. We know how good that 97 car has been. It's just trying to find the way around. This is going to be bold to the outside of the 3 car. So close there with the safer barrier on that outside. Drives to the outside. Hops the curb there a little bit. And this is where things end up not looking too awful pretty. And it doesn't look pretty there. Lundqvist will drop down to 23rd again. Pit stop underway. That was Hazel Leon in pit lane at the moment. So Leon undergoing service here a couple laps early for the 32 car, but not far away from that window. The window opening at lap 32. Lisevich back out in front of Porter Kelly. We're watching that battle further backwards in the field. So several lead changes already in this race, from Lundqvist to Velisevich, Porter Kelly, and now back to Velisevich. Leon off and away from pit lane. Stops not too far away as we start lap 31 at the start-finish line. These top three wall on their own at the moment. Izzy Porter in fourth, Wyatt Jones up to fifth. He's made his way around the 77 of Simona Leroux. So Wyatt Jones has cleared himself of the final obstacle, preventing him from reaching the current points leader. Leroux in sixth, Alexander seventh, Joey Takani staying in eighth at the moment. Asher Crane, really good job so far. Once again, ninth place for the 80 car so far here in Valkenburg. The top 10 is capped off by Catherine Hart, now the lone representative for Phantom Motors in this race with the retirement of Andrew Draco. Kobayashi in 11th, 12th place Esther Hobson at the moment, Marcus Petrovich in 13th, 14th Mia Valdez, BK Glover in the 15th spot, Anastasia Sponsonen in 16th, 17th Shifan Zhang as things sit. Sakura Ishibashi in 18th right now, Cameron Jackson in 19th, so Ishibashi has made a position gain here. Very slow moving progress. I think pit stop window is going to be very needed for some to try to make some more inroads here on the traffic, but that's hoping that the 78 and the 97 figured out what caused their slow pit stop to begin with on that first pit stop under caution. We've only had one caution for 2 laps so far in this race. Hazel Leon on lap 31. Lap 32 now. Lisevich is on lap 32 as these 3 cars battle it out for the podium places. Angeline Porter in fourth. Pretty well on an island. 4.3 seconds behind the race leader. About 3 seconds ahead of Wyatt Jones. So, floating around on an island. Open space for Evangeline Porter. Wyatt Jones, top 5, the Indianapolis 500 champion. His first podium came on a street circuit, came last year in Toronto. Talked about how hard it was for him to kind of get adjusted to this racetrack earlier when he lost 3 spots and really couldn't make it back up. He's finding his groove now, sitting further up the field in 5th. A little bit slower than Porter. 125 ones versus 125 threes. But overall, not doing too bad there for Wyatt Jones. Pit window opens next lap, so beginning lap 33. See if anyone blinks early here on this. Looking through the top 10, looks like the answer to that is pretty well and resoundingly no. Kobayashi comes and passes pit lane, so will Esther Hobson and most of the rest of the field at this point, except for Shifan Zhang. Zhang comes in and is the only one to do so. So Zhang, the only one that comes in at the very first lap. The window opens at the end of lap 32. We're expecting more takers on this lap and the next couple laps. Lisevich leading the way. He's led 16 laps in this race so far. Stephanie Porter Kelly, the 60 car just behind her, has the fastest lap though. A 1:23.573 for Porter Kelly. Around turn 12 towards turn 13 and 14. And none of the top three blink. Neither will Evangeline Porter. Wyatt Jones, does he come down early? No, he does not. Looks like most of the top 10 will pass on making a pit stop here on 33. Captain Hart, 10th place car, will also pass on that. Everyone else thinking otherwise as well. Lefty, next one in. First stint went 15 laps. Caution ended that stint. Second stint now entering green flag pit stops here. We are on lap 19 of that pit stop window. This switch leads the way. Three cars have really broken away from the rest of the pack at the moment. But pit stops will be the equalizer, or it could be the great equalizer here. Here comes Velicevic. Porter Kelly stays out, so will Kovalkiewicz. So, first leader comes in. Porter also comes down pit lane. Wyatt Jones stays out. And under threat of being passed by Leroux, does get passed by Leroux. Huge miss there. So, Leroux gets by Jones at a critical time. Takani also stayed out there. So did Captain Hart. And here goes Velicevic to her box. Cars in pit lane now. That's Alexander in pit lane. That is Kobayashi, Petrovic, Hofson coming down pit lane. That is Crane, Von Sonnen also all down pit lane. As well as the championship leader Evangeline Porter. In and out of that box. Same with Velicevic, both the atomic cars. Pretty clinical pit stops there for them. Same with Crane. Trouble in the 11 camp. Alexander still stationary. Not a good move right now for Alexander, who is struggling. And now rolling. Leaders are in now. Porter Kelly and Kovalkiewicz, and there goes Leroux. There goes Wyatt Jones in pit lane as well as Takani. And that would cover basically the entire top 10 all in now. Captain Hart also in pit lane. Mia Valdez coming down pit lane as well. Glover's in. Ishibashi is in. Kozlov is in. Jackson is in. So is Lundqvist. Velicevic on an island right now on her own. Evangeline Porter right now trying to see if she can get into the top three here. Michelin comes down pit lane now. Very tight. And it's Kovalkiewicz, who will not beat the 7 out of pit lane. How about the 60 car? The 60 car does win the race off pit lane there. Porter Kelly out in front. Kovalkiewicz stays stationary in third. Porter stationary in fourth as well. Hazel Leon, early pit stop there for Leon, and it's worked out. Leon's up to the top 5. Worked out like a treat. Asher Crane in 6th, I believe, is how that ends up working out here. Captain Hart in 7th. 8th for Kobayashi, 9th for Wyatt Jones. And Takani up to 10th. Obviously, have to wait for all these positions to cycle through on the scoring sheet to make sure everything's looking correct. Marcus Petrovich right now looks to be 11th place ahead of Simona Leroux. And here goes a battle for what could be, I believe, 13th there between Hofsson and Valdez. And Glover would be in 15th, it looks like, here at the moment, potentially. Not a great look, though, for Lundqvist, who did leapfrog Cameron Jackson, but did not make much else happen in that exchange. Porter Kelly leads the way. So back out front for car 60. Two-horse race, battling for the race win at the moment. Following the first green flag pit stop exchange. So the pit window slightly adjusted from 17 to 20 laps to about 18 to 21 laps. So not a huge range difference there, but definitely something to keep an eye on as this race progresses a little bit further. Liswich has led 17 laps. Porter Kelly's led 8. The only other race leader, Siri Lundqvist, Bolsitter, led 11 laps early in this race. Lundqvist right now is in the 18th spot, is the numbers that I'm seeing at the moment. Of course, we'll have to wait for all that to completely update as we go along here. All right, Lundqvist is in 22nd here, so they were still trying to update where everyone was located after everyone completed their pit stop sequence. Indeed, that has been the case. So it's Porter Kelly, Vulasevich, Kovalevich, Porter, Leon, Crane, Hart, Kobayashi, Jones, and Takani are top 10. Petrovich is 11th, Hofsson 12th, Leroux 13th, Valdez 14th, BK Glover in 15th, so that was correct there. Then it's Von Sonnen 16th, ahead of Lekti, Ishibashi, Alexander, and Kozlov, your top 20. Cameron Jackson, Siri Lundqvist, Shufan Zhang, Matthias Michelin, the last 4 running at the moment. Only 2 out of this race, Thomas Rogers with an electrical fire, and Andrew Draco out with an accident with Michelin. Vulasevich has taken over the race lead once again from Porter Kelly. Big time moves at the moment. Vulasevich for a second race win of the season, as is Porter Kelly. Kovalevich a little bit further back, looking for her first win of the season. Seems more and more unlikely the further back she falls to the grasp of Porter and to Hazel Leon. Hazel Leon's been looking for any daybreak of luck here. It's been a very unlucky return to Champ Car racing for the New Zealander, the 2021 World Champion. Top 5 would be exactly what the doctor ordered for them. One of the highly sought after free agents on the market. $3 million the bid. That's been placed by Arrowhead Racing and by Highlight Racing at the moment. And by Cat Devil Racing, the team she's currently driving for right now. Other teams, Rising Team Impulse, would love to have it, or Leon back within that team. $3 million per year salary for Leon's, but it's been negotiated so far. As everyone tries to figure out where the former champion will land. Not the only world champion potentially on the move either, with Mia Valdez a little bit further behind, being announced as being a free agent at the end of the year. So announced that Cat Devil Racing would be moving on from Mia Valdez at the season's end, after Valdez came in and filled in place of Valerie Fang, who was dispatched from the team halfway through last season. Valdez grabbed a race win in Homestead, Miami earlier this year. 2014 World Champion will be trying to find new pastures in the top flight series after proving she could very well hold it at the top flight. So right now in 14th place, though, or a little bit more distant. Now Davis Fonsonen sitting 17th behind Nicole Lechty. Sakura Ishibashi in the 18th spot ahead of Artyom Kozlov. More space. The further back you go, Cameron Jackson back ahead of Siri Lundqvist there in that battle for 21st. Which is not where Lundqvist thought she'd be battling this early this late in the race after starting this race on pole position. That is how things sort of broke apart and worked down here. Lisevich still leads. Here goes Porter Kelly. A little bit overdrive. We see that a lot in turn 14. Overdriving turn 14. And Porter Kelly sweeps right back around to take the lead back away. Porter Kelly back out in front. Really good action so far. This two-car breakaway here in Valkenburg. I'll take the time to invite everyone to join us later this afternoon when we see the Challenger Series race in Las Vegas. 34 cars set to do battle. That Las Vegas Motor Speedway coverage begins noon Eastern Time here on ABN. Excited to see racing in Las Vegas once again for Champ Car Racing. Been a long time coming, and it's finally here. Porter Kelly and Lisevich controlling this race pretty handily at the front of the field. Kovalkiewicz has sat consistently in third since the start of the race. Trying to stay that way ahead of the current points leader, who is trying to extend that gap at the front of the points. Hazel Young would love to keep this top 5 streak rolling as well. Asher Crane in 6th, and it's a giant gap all the way down to Catherine Hart and Wyatt Jones. Catherine Hart just set her fastest lap of the race, a 1:24.4. Wyatt Jones struggling to match that pace at the moment, down in 8th place. He is struggling now with those red Firestone tires as they begin to fall away more and more. At the front of the field, it is still Steffi Porter Kelly and Natalia Velisevich duking it out, as they have several times this season already here at Valkenburg. Way here, a 1:24.2 for Porter Kelly at the moment. Her fastest lap is the fastest lap of the race, a 1:23.573 for the 3-time world champion. Looking for a race win number 48 in her Champ Car career. She's opened up about a second gap to Natalia Velisevich here. Alicia Kovalkiewicz sitting right now in 3rd place, ahead of Evangeline Porter. Asher Crane on an island there in 6th, away from Hazel Leon in 5th, but equally away from Catherine Hart in 7th place as well. Peggy Kobayashi in 9th at the moment. way to Connie rounding out the top 10 as things sit. Marcus Petrovic struggling to try to keep position here. 25.7 is not going to cut it here on the lap time sheets. Being Hawks. And really hunted by Mia Valdez and company. Esther Hofson in 13th, also running faster right now than the 21. And Simona Leroux a little further down the order in 14th place at 126.001. I'm stuck in traffic here. BK Glover in 15th. Golecki up to 16th place. It's the Iron Maiden trying to crawl back and minimize the damage caused by that bad pit stop to kick off the race. Still a decent amount of time left to do so. 36 laps to go. At least another 2 pit stops that we're expecting here in this race. Looking 18 to 21 laps here. Last pit stops took place around lap 36. So realistically we can see more pit stops happening about lap 54. Lap 54 is when we expect a decent chunk of pit stops to take place. And then we'll have to make another pit stop really late in this race. We won't be able to get all the way to the finish. Unless someone can stretch this lap. If someone can stretch lap 59, that'd be right on the money. But I don't think many drivers can do that at the moment. Certainly not in the back of the field, I don't believe. Golecki sitting in 16th. Losing touch though with the number 6 of BK Glover at the moment. Just trying to find any inroads you can get at this point. Front of the field is pretty well spaced out at this point. Again, a little tighter at the front of the field, but it is still a 1.1 second gap between Porter Kelly and Velicevic here. Closest battle at the front of the field would be between Hart, Jones, and Kobayashi at this point. There's an 11th on an island. There's this potential battle between Leroux, who's picked up some wing damage, it looks like, on that driver's left side. Wing looks a little bit skewed. And she tries to find a way around Esther Hofson here. Motion the hairpin. Sharp dive in. Trying to grab as much power on the way out and does so. Grabs a spot. That's 13th. That front wing damage is not affecting Leroux enough to keep her from passing cars like Hofson. That left side, it could be contact there with the turn 14 wall. It's grabbed a couple drivers in this race. Grabbed Andrew Greco and causing the only caution of the race. Could have happened to Leroux as well. Struggling. Obviously that 28 car struggled most of the season so far. Just trying to find any good result you can get at this point. Better than nothing. Gap is closed down to 9/10 between Porter Kelly and Velicevic here. Porter Kelly obviously managing things from the front of the field here. Trying to just work through the field at this point. Car in pit lane is Cameron Jackson. He'll go a lap down. Michelin also came in a little bit early, but Michelin did not go a lap down. Michelin's also not far up the road. Trying to close in here on Porter Kelly, and has done a decent job of doing so. After the gap expanded to 1.2 seconds, that's now down by half, down to 0.6. Basically, Porter's made her way around Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Looks like more pit stops have taken place. Hazel Leon, who pit earlier on that sequence last time around, has pit again. Promotes Asher Crane provisionally to the 5th spot. Now, the early pit stop worked out pretty well for Leon last time around, put Leon up into the top 5. Let's see if it works again this time around, and see if maybe Leon can try to gain even more spots here. Jones applying pressure to Catherine Hart here. This is 4-6. Very valuable points on offer right now for both Wyatt Jones and for Catherine Hart. For Catherine Hart, it's trying to, again, pad those points before the cutoff line and the relegation zone. Catherine Hart not really in immediate danger, but bad results like what we saw in Monza last week could bring you a lot closer to that danger zone. And that's what everyone's trying to avoid right now. Staying ahead of Wyatt Jones. Whoa, that's trouble. That's Velisovich, sorry, pit lane. Pit lane for service. My apologies. And early, too. This is lap 51 for Velisovich. That's an early stop. Could be a smart strategy there. Cut off, make the last two stints a little bit shorter in their length, because you know you've got an extra stop there before the end of the race. Could be an early strategy there. Works out for Leon as well. So, see how that pans out. But right now, it is Steffi Porter-Kelly leading the way. And you see traffic there. That's Shufan Zhang as well in the mix. That went a lap down by a pit stop. Didn't go down, it wasn't lapped on track. Went down by pit stop. And we'll get that lap back immediately with Porter-Kelly coming down pit lane to cover off Velisovich. Here comes Kovalkiewicz as well. Cameron Jackson will also get his lap back after he made an earlier pit stop. See, there's Catherine Hart. Next one that needs to make a pit stop here. Same with Wyatt Jones, and they both bow in together. And a lot of the drivers pitting early here. And the caution's come out. The caution has come out. Something has happened. The caution has come out. There was smoke off in the distance. Was it Porter? It looks like it might be the 81 of Porter. Now, this is Porter on pit lane. When did the lights come on in the pace truck here? Velisovich leaves pit lane there. So this jumbles things up a little bit. Cars just cycling through pit lane. No big deal there. And there's where the lights come on. What has happened here? This is between the 99 and the 76. Oh, and the 76 exiting pit lane. Oh, that's kind of clumsy on Michelin's part there to draw the caution at that point. Von Sonnen had the right of way on that pit exit line, and Michelin just kind of ran him over. So that's unfortunate, and that really shakes up the field once again. It puts Mia Valdez at the front of the field. Mia Valdez obviously had not made a pit stop yet, and neither had Simona Leroux. So this will shake up the field pretty significantly. Under caution for the second time. Contact there between Von Sonnen and Michelin. With Von Sonnen coming out of pit lane, we'll now have to probably come back down pit lane just to make sure that that car doesn't have extensional damage on the side pod. Side pod super important, not only for airflow, but for the radiators that are in the sides of these cars. Don't want your car overheating, and it's very easy for them to do here on road courses. Rubber buildup, debris can get inside the side pods and make life pretty miserable. You see those that did not come down pit lane under that last stop, gonna make sure they come down pit lane now. There's a decent, sizable amount of cars that are doing that. Hazel Leon coming down pit lane. But she was one of the early ones to come in about 10 laps ago, so it makes sense for Leon to come in this time. Lundqvist comes down pit lane. So does Valdez, Glover, Moreau, Kozlov, Schiffenjang. Von Sonnen comes down pit lane. Cameron Jackson down pit lane. Michelin down pit lane as well, and Siri Lundqvist. Stephanie Porter-Kelly cycling around. It is Natalia Velicevic at the front of the field once again, I do believe. Actually, hold on. Oh my goodness, no. Oh my goodness. Stephanie Porter-Kelly, driver's center of your screen, that yellow and blue car, has a lap advantage. Oh my goodness. He has a lap advantage. She is leading this race right now. When they picked up the race leader, they did not pick up Porter-Kelly, who was in pit lane. Porter-Kelly was in pit lane and left pit lane, and they picked up Mia Valdez instead, who was the de facto race leader at that point. Everyone is effectively fighting to stay on the lead lap from Porter-Kelly, who is at the tail end of this field. 3 cars a lap down, Schiffenjang, Anastasia Von Sonnen, and Cameron Jackson. Hazily on the last car on the lead lap, technically just ahead of Porter-Kelly. And meanwhile, it is Natalia Velicevic that leads the field to green, because that's where the pace car picked up the field. So that's a cluster in and of itself. And that gives Porter-Kelly a ton of reprieve. Green flag flies and away we go, and this is where chaos reigns supreme. Several cars a lap down now. Ishibashi, Lundqvist, Michelin also a lap down because they came down pit lane under caution. And yeah, it's confusing. Natalia Velicevic is now second place, leading the field around the racetrack. Alicia Kovalkiewicz in third, Evangeline Porter in fourth, Wyatt Jones battling with Catherine Hart for fifth. Hart holds on to the top 5 spot. Takani in seventh, Crane in eighth. Ninth is Marcus Petrovic around Kaka Kobayashi. Teamwork making the dream work at the moment as Vonta Racing tries to strategize and get its car's maximum points here on offer. And it's prioritizing the 21, who's on the outside looking in the relegation zone. Cole Lecty in the 11th spot at the moment, and then it's Esther Hobson in 12th. 13th, Mia Valdez. 14th, Elise Alexander. 15th, Artyom Kozlov. And last car on lead lap is Hazel Leon right now, 17th. PK Glover officially a lap down now as well. Stuck behind Stephanie Porter-Kelly. goes in here and put more cars a lap down. Opportunity has knocked on the door for Porter Kelly. And here goes Glover trying to get his lap back. And he's going to get his lap back here. That is the double-edged sword of this, is that right now Porter Kelly's trying to put cars a lap down, and they're trying to stay on the lead lap and fight her for it. What a conundrum this is right now. This race has been flipped upside down twice now. Both of them through cautions. And again, sitting right now in second place. He has to be flabbergasted at this point with how this has really kind of panned out. Looking at coming to 22 laps to go when Porter Kelly starts this next lap. The reference points that we had for this are kind of all over the place now. But it really has erased any chance Elizabeth had at trying to battle for this race win with how that all came around. Now we're just still trying to make sense of everything that's been happening here. Wyatt Jones sits in 6th. Evangeline Porter still in the 4th spot, just up the road here. So again, keeping that battle tight in the points conversation, but it's still a swing of 4 points in favor of Porter, which almost neutralizes the deficit that was made last week in Monza. Takani sitting at 7th, a really needed result here to follow up on a needed result last week in Monza. That of Astrid Crane sitting right now in the 8th spot. cautions out once again. And that's going to give reprieve to a lot of the field that is not on the lead lap, and it will catch up Porter Kelly here. So unfortunately, this car is stuck a lap down, but it will allow the rest of the field to catch back up here. And we're not getting a report as to what has caused this caution for the third time today. So we'll reset the field here with less than 20 to go. And I'm assuming pit stops will happen here because this will be the last pit stop that's needed to get to the end of the race. And that's where the issue would likely have come from, Simona Leroux. Let's see if I can rewind that just a little bit, and it is going to be Leroux. And this is off, I think, the back of Leon. Oh, it is off the back of Leon, who checked up big time in turn 14. And Leroux unsighted because of the, obviously, the blind spot coming around that wall in turn 13. Nowhere really to go, but that's where the caution came out. You see most of the field already in pit lane here. I'm leaving pit lane, so is Ishibashi. As Lundqvist comes down pit lane now. There is Felicevich in pit lane. Michelin and the rest of the field also down pit lane, as we kind of expected and anticipated there. Jones leapfrogging a couple cars there. Stephanie Porter Kelly will still have a pretty decent buffer of lap cars between herself and second place. Natalia Velisevich will stay in second there. Then Wyatt Jones will move up to third. And Ansley Porter struggling big time. That's a big loss of positions there for Porter and for Kovalkiewicz. They will drop down the order pretty significantly here. Lights out on the pace car, which means we're going green at the end of this lap once again. Keeping these cautions short and sweet. Don't need to do a whole lot for a one-car incident there. It's Porter Kelly with a lot of lap cars behind. Between herself and Natalia Velisevich. There's a lot of cars that are not caught up to the field yet. It's going to be a pretty interesting race to debrief on at the end of the afternoon. Green flag flies though, and we're back underway. A lot of drivers are going to be complaining that they do not have a chance to catch up to the rest of the field here. Porter Kelly leads the way still. Has led 30 laps of this race so far. compared to the 20 laps led by Bliskovic and the 11 led by Lundqvist, who is now stuck a lap down in the 20th spot. Bliskovic making no wasted effort getting around Shufin Jang. Wyatt Jones will try to do the same. Really trying to fight Wyatt Jones on this, and it's mostly Captain Hart that's going to be really supporting that effort. Wyatt Jones will sweep around though on the outside. It'll eventually all work out there in favor of the 25 crew. With Captain Hart staying in 4th, and Asher Crane trying to hold on to the 5th spot, and will lose it there to Kobayashi. Monster Racing Cars up here in the top 10. Esther Hobson, top 10 as well right now, sitting in 9th. Really topsy-turvy race. 10th place Alexander, 11th place Leon, 12th place Valdez, 13th place Glover. You see all the cars that are kind of stuck without being caught up to the rest of the field here. The way has had a lot of lucky breaks here. Here comes Velicevic though, approaching Michelin as Jackson gets around or gets passed by Wyatt Jones. This would bring the championship a lot closer with how things are looking right now. Porter down in 15th, Jones battling for potentially 2nd place. Bliskovic works to get around Michelin and will do so. See the damage on Michelin's car from that lap 15 incident with Andrew Draco. They've repaired as much as they reasonably can. So much can be done at this particular point in time. Stuck there behind the 99 at the moment. He has reprieve to Velicevic, who is 6.4 seconds behind Porter Kelly at the moment. With 16 laps to go. A chance for the 31 of Captain Hart to try to make the pass happen here. Still a chance for it to happen. Side by side, this is for 3rd. Wyatt Jones holds on there. Really good run there for the 25. Side by side battle between 2 Ford drivers there. Here comes Shufin Jang trying to battle back. Again, Shufin Jang a lap down, not battling for position, but trying to catch up mostly to her teammate Cameron Jackson, who is for position. Into the hairpin. They go and clear. stuck in this lap traffic here, not helping his case at all. Meanwhile, Kaige Kobayashi looking for potentially 4th place. Not happening here. Captain Hart shuts the door. A lot of spirited drives though. Jones trying to find another podium. Captain Hart looking for a podium. Kobayashi back in the top 5. Same with, you look at Takani, you look at Crane, you look at Petrovic. Top 10s at the moment for them. Esterhofsen right now trying to hold on to a top 10, trying to stay ahead of 32 of Hazel Leon. Trying to look for a top way around into the top 5, trying to get around Kobayashi here. Jones will finally slip around the 99 of Michelin. Get clear of that for a moment before driving wide there through turns 11 and 12. It was not going to be a good look for Wyatt Jones. Not the line you want to run at this point, and that's why. Now he's really under threat now from Captain Hart, from Kobayashi, from Takani and company. And he's still stuck behind Michelin here. Really big chance for one of these drivers to really take advantage and pounce on the opportunity. Hazel Leon's gotten around Hazel Leon's gotten around Esterhofsen here. Goes Petrovic looking to the inside of Captain Hart. And Wyatt Jones finally dispatches Michelin there through the hairpin. Kobayashi needs to try to do the same thing here. Let's try to find a way around the 99 Michelin. To the outside. Gets clear, well and truly clear. So Kobayashi didn't have nearly the issues that time that Wyatt Jones did the last lap around. So Wyatt Jones in 3rd, Kobayashi though up to 4th. As laps continue to tick away, Porter Kelly's still untouchable at the moment, 7 seconds the gap to Velicevic. Wyatt Jones in 3rd, and that's where this conversation sort of begins, is with Wyatt Jones, with Kobayashi, with Hart. Hart's gotten around Michelin as well. Train around Takani. And 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th just behind. And here comes the 80 of Astrid Crane, trying to force her way around the 99 of Michelin. And does so. Meanwhile, Alexander trying to get around Takani and does so. So that's for 7th place that Takani loses now. And Hazel Leon has moved up another spot. That's around Petrovic for 9th. So Petrovic now into the 10th spot, ahead of Esterhofsen and Mia Valdez. Here goes Alexander. Couldn't find a way around that time. It's the inside of turn 11. Way better line there for Alexander. Michelin checks up the field behind him there, running a little bit wide. And it works out a little bit there for Takani. Despite the holdup, Takani gets through and prevents Leon and company from getting around as well. Petrovic loses spots there pretty well in mass to Leon, to Hofsen, to Valdez. Here comes Leon, trying to find a way around Michelin this time, same way Crane did a lap ago. Meanwhile, Valdez tries to find her way around Hobson, approaching the hairpin. Sends it to the inside there. Coming to 10 laps to go. Really tight fight there. Hobson runs a little bit wide. Ooh, really wide actually for Hobson. Ooh, a little bit of contact there with the wall, both for Hobson and for Valdez. Valdez gets away with it and doesn't lose anything. Hobson can't quite say the same. Kovalkiewicz trying to find a way around the 6 of Glover. And there's Porter in 15th in this conversation now as well. Porter Kelly still on an island here. Lap traffic between her and Velicevic will keep the 7 at bay, though the 7 has cleared most of it here, having gotten around Von Sonnen. Wyatt Jones in 3rd, very distant 3rd with lap traffic in the way, but has pulled away from Kage Kobayashi and company. Kobayashi battling to hold on to 4th place ahead of Captain Hart. Then you have the 8 of Astrid Crane in 6th, Alexander in 7th, Takani in 8th, Leon in 9th, and Mia Valdez rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Kovalkiewicz finds a way around Matthias Michelin, and Porter will try to do the same as well. And again, that's all trying to neutralize damage here. Gaining a spot there, getting around Esther Hobson, as Velicevic is in pit lane. Oh dear. Natalia Velicevic is in pit lane with less than 10 laps to go. Oh dear. Was that not what we were expecting? That moves Velicevic from 1st almost all the way down to 17th, surely, at this point. Browsing through the field to see where Velicevic exits. There's Velicevic. Yeah, Velicevic is on an island in 17th. Do we have late pit stops incoming? Oh, we 100% do. Porter Kelly's in as well. Pit stops incoming. Wyatt Jones. Does he have to make a pit stop now? Ooh, this is going to be very interesting. Wyatt Jones does not need a pit stop. Interestingly enough, does not need a pit stop. He will inherit the race lead. This is all extremely interesting now. Captain Hart up to 2nd. 3rd is Astrid Crane. 4th, Elise Alexander. Takani's in the top 5 as things currently run. But now this is all subject to a lot of change. We thought everyone was safe to go to the end of the race. That is apparently not the case. And there's still a chance we get a first-time winner out of this, too. Obviously, Wyatt Jones, Indianapolis 500 champion this year, looking for his 2nd win. Catherine Hart, a race winner from Nazareth. Astrid Crane looking for her 1st win this season. And the catbird seat to potentially do so if things continue to fall the way they have. Are we expecting pit stops here before this race is over? We're looking coming to 7 laps to go. Wyatt Jones doesn't think so this time. is all so bizarre. Astra Crane up to second place. Around the 31 of Captain Hart. Elise Alexander in fourth. Fifth, Takani. Sixth, Leon. Mia Valdez in seventh. Glover in eighth. Ninth for Porter, but that's a battle between Porter and Kovalkiewicz, and Kovalkiewicz apparently has got that battle pretty well won for the ninth spot. Kozlov battling for 11th with Simona Leroux. Hobson in 12th, Lechty in 13th. Porter Kelly in 14th. Von Sonnen came down pit lane, but he's already a lap down. Velisic in 15th. Kobayashi in 16th. He's made a pit stop. So is Petrovic. Wyatt Jones to the lap led, but can he lead to the finish? We've got 7 laps to go, coming to 6 to go next time around. What is going on? And Astra Crane is closing in. That gap is closing pretty significantly. It was 2.1 at the line. I would love to see what that gap is when we get to the line here. Jones once again says no. This is all so interesting to see how this all plays out. One else fights that time for pit lane. So several cars have come down pit lane. The lead is now in the hands of Wyatt Jones. And the gap stayed stationary. At around 2.1 seconds. Elise Alexander looking for a podium here. Trying to get around Captain Hart. Talk about circumstance. This would be a 31-point swing with Porter in 10th. Sorry, Porter's, I believe, is Porter in 10th or is she in 9th? Scoreboard's saying 9th. She's in 10th. Kovalkiewicz is in 9th at the moment. So that's a third one. That brings the championship lead down to 1 point with Monaco next week. Which is crazy to think about. Uh-oh, here goes another battle for the podium. Captain Hart around Astra Crane. And that is for second place. And again, the question is, can Wyatt Jones make it to the end of the race? 5 laps to go here in Valkenburg. I would have to imagine that Wyatt Jones cannot make it to the end if Porter Kelly and Velisic also couldn't make it. Wyatt Jones was not among those that pit under the caution. He was not among that group. So it would be hard to imagine at this particular stanza that he's got what it takes or what's needed to get to the end of this race. I'd be surprised. This race has been absolutely a spectacle. Welcome back, Valkenburg, to the calendar, because it has been a wild ride, start to finish. He stays out again. Coming to 4 to go. And Astra Crane still battling with Captain Hart there for second place. Very valuable 40 points between those two right now. And they would both really love those points. There's not a lot of people that would love those points anymore. Glover got around Valdez, it looks like here. I'll double check here. That is not the case. Valdez thinning him off. Volkevich firmly in 9th. Porter in 10th. Kozlov in 11th. Leroux 22nd, excuse me. Lecty 12th. Hobson 13th. Porkelly in 14th is caught right back up to the tail end of that group. Again, Wyatt Jones just needs to get around another 3 laps here. No pit stop that time for Wyatt Jones. He thinks he's good. I am completely flabbergasted with how everything's turned out today. I am dumbfounded. And caution's out. Caution has come out. What is the caution for? Oh dear. This will end the race. This will 100% end the race. Oh my goodness. What has brought out the caution here? Pit lane is closed. It'll be Wyatt Jones bringing us to caution here. And provided something doesn't happen, that's a pass for the podium spots. Crane and Alexander have gotten around Catherine Hart, coming to the yellow flag to take Catherine Hart off the podium. Oh my goodness. Asher Crane will end up second. And Elise Alexander ends up third in all of this. And again, I don't have a lot of information as to what has caused the caution here. It looks like there has been some sort of incident at this part of the racetrack, although I'm struggling to see where that incident would have come from. But we will end this race under yellow. Four cautions here for what will be 8 laps. And I would be very remiss to say that there is no need to come down pit lane at this conjecture unless you are running out in the next lap. Which in that case, you've got bigger problems. What a disaster. It's a miracle for some. For Asher Crane, this was probably the most needed result you could have gotten, realistically speaking. For Evangeline Porter, this brings the championship down to a singular point going into the Grand Prix of Monaco next week. That is nightmare fuel. Wyatt Jones indeed will stay out and approach the white flag under caution to bring the championship to 1 point, to win his first road course race Champ Car competition, his second career race overall. Asher Crane, Elise Alexander, Catherine Hart, Joy Takani will round out your top 5. Hazel Leon in 6th, BK Glover in 7th, Mia Valdez, Alicia Kovalkiewicz, and Evangeline Porter your top 10. Artyom Kozlov, Nicole Lechty, Esther Hofson, Stephanie Porter-Kelly, Natalia Velisevich, Kage Kobayashi, Marcus Petrovich, Siri Lundqvist, and Sakura Ishibashi, the 19 cars on the lead lap at the end of this race. Cameron Jackson, Shufan Zhang, Simona Leroux, Anastasius von Sonnen, and Matthias Michelin, the 24 cars running in this race total at the finish. Only 2 retirements, Thomas Rogers and Andrew Draco, all of them in the first half of this race, with Monaco looming in the distance, not too far away at this point. But behind the Ford Raptor pace truck, it will be Wyatt Jones grabbing his 2nd Champ Car win, ahead of Astrid Crane and Elise Alexander, who will round out the podium. "17 races down, and it's 1 point the difference now between Jones and Porter, with Monaco not too far away." We're excited. This is an amazing championship battle that has gotten extremely tight all of a sudden. And a part of the calendar, we expected it to be completely wide open. Lever also gains points on Porter, but not nearly to the degree that Wyatt Jones gains. Mia Valdez will also gain a handful of points on Porter going into Monte Carlo in 7 days. The round turns 13 and 14 for the final time. Under caution, we don't have many races under caution anymore, but occasionally it still happens. Wyatt Jones will be the winner of one such occasion. He's a road course race winner now. He wins the Grand Prix of Valkenburg, his 2nd Champ Car win, his 2nd win in 2024. Astrid Crane returns to the podium, as does Elise Alexander. It's now a 1 point difference. Field will be led back around on the cool-down lap. And Wyatt Jones gets to celebrate. A job all done for Lubbock Motorsports. He had to learn on the fly a ton in this race, and he did a phenomenal job doing so. Welcome back, Valkenburg. Onwards now to the Principality. The Principality that made Grand Prix racing famous. The first time in its history, the Grand Prix of Monaco is a Champ Car event. Only event like Monaco could rival the Indy 500. Wyatt Jones enters as a 2-time race winner this season. And momentum is heavily on his side at this point. What a race here in Valkenburg. We have more racing coming up this afternoon. It is the Challenger Series from Las Vegas, a championship fight that is equally as close and competitive. We head to Las Vegas, the high speed, the high banks oval in Nevada, with 8 races to go in the Challenger Series season. We know the relegation battle in the Champ Car World Series is tight. The promotion battle in the Challenger Series is even tighter. Join us here at noon Eastern Time as our coverage of the BetMGM 300 in Las Vegas begins there, right here on ABN. As the field comes to Parc Fermé, Wyatt Jones gets to take the top step of the podium once again, and in a massive way. On behalf of everyone here for the AT&T Champ Car World Series, everyone here at the Valkenburg Naval Air Base Circuit, everyone here for Horizon Corporation and ABN Studios, as we watch the field reach their pit stalls and begin their debriefs with their teams, we say so long, and we'll see you next weekend in the crown jewel of the French Riviera, the Circuit de Monte Carlo. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you in Monaco. So long, everybody.